Hi, Darren Hunter here, and you can imagine the amount of agents, particularly on the East Coast or New Zealand, that I say you should be charging for a routine inspection. The answer I usually get, the resistance I get is, but Darren, what's the management fee for? And my point to you is owners will pay for a routine inspection, and for us to think that they won't is unreasonable. We've got the mindset issue, and here is why. Firstly, inspections are a time-heavy process. It takes a lot of time. If it's time-heavy, it's taking a lot of time to do it, you can easily justify why you need to charge for it. So, for example, if I said to you, why are you charging a leasing fee? Why isn't that part of your management fee? You'll go, well, Darren, we've got to drive to the property up to 3 times before we've got an application. We've got to process the application. That all takes time. And then we've got to do the full ingoing inspection. We've got to drive back to the property. And then we've got to sign up the tenant. All I'm hearing is time. It takes time. And you're right. The leasing process is the busiest procedure that you need to deal with, and I know it can take anywhere up from 8 to 12 hours per letting or leasing to rent the property. Yes, you should be charging a leasing fee, and you and I know that you've based your fee largely on the amount of time that it takes. All right, so you understand that principle, and the same applies to routine inspections. Now, how long do you think a routine inspection takes? Now, when I ask this in seminars, people commonly put up their hand and say 15 or 20 minutes. Well, no. What about booking time, drive time, do the inspection, do the extra tasks and requests that came up because you went to the property, and also getting the report ready and sent to the owner? Well, most people say, well, that's at least an hour. An hour to do every routine inspection. That is the truth. Sometimes an hour and a half. Now, what are you worth per hour? Let's just go through this. So if you were to hourly rate your cleaner, what are they going to charge you? You'd probably say $40, $50. What about the gardener? You'll say it's about the same. What about the handyman? Well, it's a bit more expensive, $60, $70. And then you've got electrician and the plumber, and they're more expensive again, getting up to that $100 or $110 an hour. And then what about a geek to come in and fix your office computer? Well, that's $150, $180, $200 an hour. What about an accountant for the business? Well, that's $300, $400 an hour. What about a lawyer? $500, $600 an hour plus. So what are you worth per hour? And if you're managing 100 properties and they're worth $1 million to sell on the sales market, well, that's $100 million of other people's assets. You go do the math. And I've worked with companies that are managing over $1 billion of other people's assets. And so would you think your hourly rate, with all your responsibilities and legislative complications you've got to deal with and the risks involved, that you're worth the same as a cleaner per hour or a plumber or an electrician? No. So if I make a suggestion to agents like, hey, you should charge, for example, $99 for a routine inspection, they think I've got rocks in my head, that it's too expensive. And I'm thinking, you got rocks in your head, that's still too cheap. You should be angry with me. Because a plumber will go out and change your leaky washer. He'll spend 15 minutes at the property, give you an account for $140, and you will pay it like that. Why? Because that's what a plumber charges. And then you give it to the owner, they'll go, yep, fair enough. And they'll accept it like that. Why? Because that's what a plumber charges. Do you see my point that I made at the start of this video? Is that you think the owners won't pay is actually unreasonable. They will. And this is why you can go into a market and charge a routine inspection fee even when all of your competitors charge nothing. It doesn't make any difference. Go back and have a look at my other videos on the law of the main game, where owners really only care about, focus on, or fixated on the management fee. This is why you can successfully charge a routine inspection. So here is my challenge to you. Just go and do it. Just go and ask. Just say to an owner and have it in there and just pretend like it's something you've always done. So when you do go say our routine inspection fee is whatever cost, you don't suddenly have, gulp, and any fear in your face. Just poker face, pretend like it's something you've always done, and you go and see what I've just said come true before your eyes. Owners don't care about those sorts of fees. All right? Go and prove it to be true. Don't let, but Darren, what's the management fee for? That should be covering that. Don't let that silly little mindset get in the way. Go and charge what you're worth. Now, of course, these fees here are all covered. How to justify the fees and how to get those fees are covered in both books here. A little bit hard to see on screen, but Win Your Worth Secrets and the PM Fee Script Secrets are going to help you in your journey there. Just go to igtcentral.com. That's igtcentral.com for all of our books there. By the way, the books are free. We've paid for the printing. All you've got to do is pay for the shipping. Take care.